Hello, today we are going to talk about transitioning from monoliths to microservices the Google way. Note, this is not an official submission, and you will see why very soon.
Baba.
So, this presentation will be given by me, Rohit Kelapur, App Modernization Scale Specialist at Google, and my partner, Rushi Kelapur,
Hi.
also a 9-year-old. Okay, so this is a very beginner's approach to app modernization and app transformation, and we have fun along this ride. All right, next slide. So let's start with a basic. Let's start with a basic question, right? Rushi, what do you have any questions to ask me?
What are monoliths?
What are
I hear you
monoliths?
talking about them all the time.
That's awesome. Have you seen the pyramids of Egypt, Rushi?
Oh, of course not.
Oh, you haven't, but you have seen pictures of them, right?
Oh,
Right. So monoliths. Monoliths are massive applications that basically build over time. So they start small, right? And they keep growing and keep growing. And the reason why they
what's
grow,
wrong?
wait, I'll explain to you. So as they grow, they start accumulating gravity and data and code along with them, right? So this leads to an increase in technical debt, right? Just like when you have a lot of stuff in the house in your room and you keep piling stuff and keep piling stuff and you don't take the time to clean it, you've created your clothes debt. So it's similar to that in software.
Okay,
You
so
create technical debt. Monoliths are not amazing.
monoliths are amazing, but if you have a monolith, then you're not able to clean your room.
Okay. So just coming back to point, it's bad because they are messy, one, and two, just like when you have a lot of stuff in the room, you can't find things. So it becomes difficult to update your software, right? To update your software or to release new versions of your software,
That's cubby is a monolith.
right? So you can't release new versions of your software. Um, Oftentimes what happens is as they keep growing and growing, they break often, right? We cannot the application crashes or they bring down other applications along with them. It just becomes very difficult to maintain a monolith, right? You cannot evolve them fast enough. So the speed of development goes down over time, right? So let's say this is speed of development, and let's say this is the size of the monolith.
But how do you break monoliths?
That's good. We'll get there. So do you understand that as things grow and grow and take their own kind of life and keep growing, unless you break them, right, you cannot update them or release them. Now there is an exception to this. You know that? In some cases, the monoliths are extremely well structured. Think of like the layers of the solar system. So here,
Okay, so
when it's a
monoliths
structured,
are amazing.
so
Without monoliths, we wouldn't even live.
if you have a structured monolith, then you can, right? Then you can, then basically you can update them, right? Like this. So understand that all monoliths aren't bad. Some of them are bad, especially the ones that have kind of grown like a weed without sufficient gardening with them. So this is now. Do you understand why monoliths are bad? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay. Oh, now the next slide would be. So you said how do you break monoliths? So let's start with that. How do you break a? How do you break a monolith? Okay. So the key here, there are multiple techniques of doing this, Rushil. The first technique is to look at certain features within the monolith or business capabilities within a monolith, right? So let's say you have a Minecraft app, or you have Minecraft, right? Minecraft has different domains. There is the farming. Right?
Oh my god, oh my god, erase that, oh my god, erase that.
Okay, let's not do. So you, I guess you're not doing Minecraft,
You
right?
don't know what Minecraft is.
Okay, let's play with it. Okay, let's take a shipping application, right? So let's assume that you have Amazon.com, right? Amazon.com is a massive monolith.
Okay.
What does Amazon.com have, right? So there is inventory, is there stuff there? There is pricing, there is the catalog of all the things within the site. There is also promotions, there is supply chain, right? So these are these various business capabilities, also known as domains within the application. So what you do is you take this pizza slice and then you basically cut the let you focus on one part of the app and then you remove inventory out, right? You remove inventory out. Now this maneuver that I just explained to you, where yeah, it's a giant Pac-Man, but now we removed inventory from the bigger application. Now this is called the strangler pattern. And you know what? You create a facade here.
What's a facade?
A facade is like an API, the language that this guy talks, back to the monolith. So now the monolith interacts through this API with the inventory service. That is how you break a monolith. So this way of breaking monoliths is called loosely, there's a whole science behind it, but this is called domain-driven design. Domain.
On your shirt sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes DDD, domain-driven design, right? So look at business capabilities and decompose based on business. Oh, I'll spell business subdomains and capabilities. Okay. Now there are other ways to break monoliths too. Okay, I'll kind of briefly summarize other ways of breaking it down. You know, Google pioneered SRE practices, right?
What's SRE?
SRE practices are known as software reliability engineering practices. I know, we're going to get there. I'm going to teach you an easy way of doing this. Software reliability engineering practices. And Google also pioneered something known as a research study known as DORA that measures engineering efficiency. So you can, if you want, also decompose monoliths based on SRE practices and based on DORA metrics, right? So the idea here is that you measure key software metrics like release frequency, you look at mean time between failure, you look at change failure rate, and I use the DORA metrics to identify the seams in your application. Okay. So here you are leveraging actual measured software engineering efficiency metrics to figure out what these lines are, right? Like what are the lines in your application? Got it? The next one is software reliability engineering metrics. These are slightly more difficult, right? But essentially think of, there are certain windows of time where your application is ready for experimentation, right? Where you are under the stated availability goals of your application. You have some budget to make changes. So you leverage SRE principles and look at resiliency of the application and patterns around resiliency to break an application down. These are the three ways that Google has, and amongst many others, to break a monolith. And that's why we're calling this the Remember, we call this the Google way in our title. Got it?
Yeah.
Awesome. So now, what did you ask me? You said this was way too difficult, right? Did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Get up. Don't sleep. This is way too difficult, right? That's your complaint. So we have and in Google something called Anthos that makes this way easier. You know how?
How?
So Anthos basically speeds up app modernization. So all these small microservices you saw, remember we are going to carve from the big one, from the mothership. We were going to carve out all these smaller microservices.
Yeah.
You could choose to run the big guy on-prem in the data center, and all these other smaller microservices, no,
Oh, come on.
all these other microservices in Google Cloud. Okay? So this, imagine this is your friend's house and this is your house, right? So you can run the microservices either on-prem or in the cloud, and Anthos is going to manage all of this for you, right? So Anthos is the single control plane that allows you to manage all of this in a seamless fashion. Got it? So you can start here. So you can see, so this is your,
Hey, no, that's my favorite color.
yeah, this is your monolith. And these are your microservices. Too dark, so I'm just going to say your microservices, right? This transition is accelerated by Anthos. But that's not what just Anthos provides. It provides Anthos service mesh. You know what service mesh is?
No.
Service mesh is like a phone book. Like, hey, where does Vihan stay? Where does Ishan stay? Like from one spot, you know exactly where everyone else is so that you can call them. It has Anthos config management. You know what is Anthos config management?
No.
It's like your rules in the school, right? When you have school, you know that the teachers have to do something, the students have to do something. From between 8:30 and 10:30, you have stand up, or you have your what do you have in the beginning of the of school? I forgot.
Work time.
Work time. Then after that, you have certain things. So it helps you regiment and enforce some rules and policy, right?
Yeah.
Anthos config management is, think of like your principal. Policy manager.
Oh, my school. Oh, no. Then I don't want to have Anthos.
No, just the Anthos config management. You may choose not to have config management.
Okay, I'm choosing that to have config management.
Okay, cool. Then the next thing is logs and ops management. You know what is ops management? When you have, let's say, like when you need to keep tabs on what is going on in your application and in the cloud, you have to look at logs, you have to look at metrics, you have to look at data. Logs and ops management manages all that for you. And the last thing is security. Do you want someone to hack your application or look and see what you're doing? So security, also known as, we also have some advanced features called binary authorization. Make sure that the application that your developers are writing is indeed the application that is being propagated across the various environments. Okay. So that is Anthos. It is Google's answer for app modernization, and it provides a complete hybrid and multi-cloud platform. So it works not only in Google, which we love, also works in Azure and AWS. Those other clouds we don't love so much, but whatever. But it works very well in all the clouds.
Why do we even give that to your competitors?
It's okay. It's a normal question. Well, we give that to the competitors because AWS has been there longer than us. They already have a lot of workloads. Our customers run workloads in multiple clouds, and so we support multiple clouds.
Aww.
That is true. That is true, sir. And then, so that was Anthos, right? Thank you. And please follow Rohit. That's me. And Rushil when he's 16 or 17 on YouTube. Appreciate the time.
Eddie.